Welcome to the presenter conference orientation for the 2025 MPAC Artist Showcase and Conference. Thank you for coming. I am Emily Wolfram, and I'm happy to be here and looking forward to having you all at the conference. And let me just pull up my notes. If you haven't met me yet, I think I've met most of you in person, maybe not the artists yet, but I am the executive director of MPAC, and I have a background in arts administration with a heavy focus on marketing and music education. I also play the cello. I happen to be subbing with the Helena Symphony this weekend. And I've never been like a touring artist beyond just substituting with orchestras every now and then. But I came to this conference world through a job that I had a few years ago when I was the manager for the Cascade Quartet and the Chinook Winds here in Montana. And I used to go to MPAC and go to Arts Northwest and get a booth and have my groups showcase. And so that is my background related to MPAC prior to this role as executive director. And so I'm going to get right into the conference information. And since it's a small group, feel free to raise your hand and come off mute. I will also try to keep an eye on the chat, but if you have a question, feel free to chime in whatever way works for you, and I'll just try to answer them as they come. The first thing is sort of like an announcement for presenters, and it's that I need some volunteers to help out at the conference. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this volunteer form so you can sort of see where it is. I think I've got somebody to help me out with being a strike assistant, which is helping to like make sure things close down at the end of the day before we lock up and leave the Civic Center. And a lot of people actually just sort of jump in at the last minute to help with that, so that's fine. But the other role that would be really helpful to have is an artist stage liaison, is what I'm calling it. Just someone to just be the point person for artists to communicate with and make sure that like their needs are effectively like reaching the stage crew in the back or the sound engineer in the front. And it's just really a communication facilitation role, just to make sure they have what they need during their rehearsal, and definitely like during the showcase if there's a problem that happens, because we want to help make things make sure that things are running smoothly. The thing about that artist stage liaison is that they would spend most of Friday and like all of the showcase, most of the first half of Saturday backstage, helping that happen. So if it's somebody who's like an extra person in the group, or if someone's like bringing along, you know, they're a family member who's just hanging out and would be interested in that, that would be great. Otherwise, you know, I'm asking around with like theater companies. I asked a community theater company if they've got some volunteers or students who would be interested in this, because it could be kind of fun for a person who is into theater or producing performances or like doing the backstage thing. Some people are just really into it. It's initially a volunteer position. We might be able to put together a stipend for somebody since the hours are kind of long too. And I provide meals while they're here. So there's that. If you know someone, please send them my way. Or you can share this form, which is going to be linked in this presentation when I send it out. The other thing is conference photographer, and this doesn't have to be like anybody with professional photography experience. It can be somebody who's really savvy with their iPhone, and I just don't have bandwidth to like make sure I get images of all the great things happening during the conference. So if someone wants to do that, I'll probably like do an informal ask of people to help, you know, contribute photos at the conference. But if I know that there's one person there that we're like, that's one of their priorities while they are, you know, in the workshops and everything, that would be great. So those are my needs for like help at the conference. And then the other thing I want you to know is that there are MPAC Board of Director positions that are open, and there's a few of them. So please do let me know if you're interested. This is a pretty fun group, and this is a really like inspiring organization for me personally. Like I'm very excited to do this work, and we could use help with just the stuff that we do throughout the year for planning for conferences, and for our presenter development program, and for continuing to pursue the goals that we have laid out in our strategic plan, which we just finished. And so if that's something is helping to support what MPAC does in general is something that would excite you, or you know somebody that would be interested, please let me know. I see something in the chat. Oh yes, we should volunteer Jim Pico for the photography thing. Indeed, yes. I sent him a couple emails about other things, but I should definitely send him that as well. Let's see. So going on. So where to find what you are looking for? I have put things in many different places, and some things are duplicated in multiple places for just because I know not everybody looks for information the same way. So do try to check your emails, check the website for what you are looking for. And the conference dashboard is now available. So you just have to log into your member portal to access the link for that dashboard. So yeah, if you have a question, check the website and check the dashboard first, and then let me know if there's something you can't find. It might be an indicator to me that I forgot something and I should post it on one of these places. So, so those are great places to go. Let's see. I actually do want to go and just make sure you know where it is, because I actually get asked this all the time, like, what's the schedule? And it's like, the schedule is right here. Ta-da! Everything that we're going to do. That's mostly what I get asked about. There's also the showcase lineup here. So if you're wondering who's coming and you want to check out their websites, that's all here too. Travel and lodging information is also under that conference menu. And this includes our blocked hotels that we have set up for you guys. Space is running out. And the O'Hare Motor Inn may have ended their block booking deal yesterday, but it might be worth calling them, today if you meant to try to take advantage of that. And then there's also Days Inn of Great Falls. Arvon is the closest. O'Hare is down the street on Central Avenue, and it has mermaids, and both are great. And Days Inn has been wonderful to work with. They're across the river, so it might be more convenient if you are planning to use your car. And yeah, I think for this menu, that's kind of, those are the main things, but feel free to check things out. Oh, look, I actually put the conference dashboard down here just to make life easy for you. So here's the dashboard. It is up and going. And yeah, so definitely check here for other more nuanced information that attendees specifically want to have. Like if you're looking for where you're supposed to park, there's a map. So yeah, so there's that going on. That actually kind of covers the next slide, which was travel and lodging. The link is here in case you want to get to it from that presentation again. And if you have any issues with anything, just let me know. And most of you, I think, are going to be driving if you're coming from within Montana, so I don't have to give you the spiel about airports. Book your hotel as soon as possible. And then for the schedule, I'm going to actually just run through it from the beginning of Friday to the end of Sunday, because that, like, going through step by step, like what happens when, kind of covers a lot of questions that frequently come up. One thing to know about our conference schedule is that we don't really have concurrent events. So we don't have like 3 workshops going on at the same time. And we don't have like independent showcases happening during the main showcase. So you don't have to like choose what to go to and what not to go to. The idea is that generally you're able to go to everything. In cases where things overlap, it's usually when there's something specifically for presenters and then something else that's specifically for artists. So yeah, just know that when you're looking at that schedule and planning your day. And then one thing to know about the schedule is that, and actually a lot of things, we have this color coding system that we inherited from, I don't know, a long time ago. It's the one that we've been using forever. Basically, Everything for presenters is in yellow, and everything for artists is in blue. And there's also pink, which is, I just threw that in there for the stuff that's for everybody. So presenters have yellow lanyards, artists have blue lanyards. Things on the schedule for artists are in blue, things for presenters are in yellow. So that should help you as well when you're trying to figure out like what's event is specifically important for you to prioritize. All right, so going on, 3 p.m. is when you can check in at the Civic Center, and you can start setting up for Turn the Tables, which we will talk about in a little bit. And then we will start our opening reception and the silent auction. And this is a good reminder to for me to invite you presenters to plan on bringing some donated items for the silent auction if you can and you would like to. Also, make sure to bring your checkbook so you can participate in the silent auction. You know, like there's usually a great array of things, and you never know what you'll find. It's a little bit different every year, so you just be ready to participate because you might see something you really have to have. And then let's see. Also, we will start our presenter roll call, and this will be a pretty simple, like, it hopefully won't take too long. We're going to have one person from each presenting organization just give a brief introduction, kind of like the one you gave just now, which is just the name, organization, where they're from, maybe just like how many events they present, and one like short thing that they want to share about their community. And we'll try to keep this rolling so that way we can get onto workshops and everything. That's something that was requested in the past, and we tried it, I think, last year, just so presenters, especially those who are new to the conference, or maybe just joined their local board for the first time, like they have a chance to see other people and get a sense of who they are and where they're from. So yeah, that's the roll call. And then we will go right into a workshop. Oh, and I forgot to mention the opening reception that's at 4. You don't need to purchase anything in advance of that. That's just open and free to all the registered attendees. So if you didn't purchase dinner or any of the catered meals, that's okay. Definitely still join us for the reception. And yeah, so then we'll do presenter roll call. We'll have a workshop by Chris Holmes from the Montana Arts Council at 4:45. And then here in blue, there's an artist opening meeting. You don't have to worry about that. They'll be doing that in the theater. And then right after our workshop finishes up at 6:15, we will do an event called Turn the Tables. So do plan to participate in this. This is for presenters to have their moment in the spotlight, and you get to have your own booth, so to speak. And I actually just assigned like one of the round dining tables to you, and you can bring brochures for your venue and maybe like posters or whatever you want to, make it look nice. And you get to sit at your own presenter booth, and the artists and the agents have a chance to come approach you and talk to you and ask you questions. And that's your chance to like just share whatever you would like to share about your community and your audience and your series. And you don't have to bring treats, but people may bring treats. So if you want to keep up with the Joneses, like feel free to bring some Halloween candy or make some cookies. I already told the artists that you're gonna want them to visit you and eat your treats and like hang out with you. So they will be they'll be ready to engage. And let's see. Here's a little list of things you can bring and how to be ready for Turn the Tables, and it's really fun. It's very fun, and there is a very informal contest, which I actually discovered kind of too late the first time I ran a conference. Jill, I didn't know there was a contest the first time I ran the conference in Fort Benton. But that's
And
always
I
been
think we did it just off the cuff. And now it's turned into a thing. So yeah, there is a little contest for best table,
okay.
and the artists vote on it. An artist, yeah,
Mhm.
but it's kind of fun.
Okay. So now it was, casual, and now it's a tradition. I think we should stick with it. I like it. So yeah. Okay, so turn the tables happens, and then we go into dinner, and this is where it is catered, and you do need to purchase it in advance if you'd like to join us for that. And I encourage you to do so. Usually it's a buffet, and so there's like generous portions, and and the food's always very good. It's by Baumgardner Catering again this year, and we do keep little tent cards, like a couple of them at each table. So there's always a spot for an artist or an agent. So that way they get a chance to mingle with you guys and meet you over a meal as well. So yeah, that's dinner. It will start, and then we will go right into the quick pitch session, which I'm calling 5 for 5. We're going to hear from 5 different artists or agents for 5 minutes each, and they're going to just quickly share the show or the program that they want you to know about, and they'd like to market to Montana audiences. And we do that during dinner. So like while we have a captive audience, kind of, but also just to try to stay efficient with the day. Because I know a lot of you are either like volunteers or you have like Monday through Friday jobs that you have to get back to. So we squeeze a lot into 48 hours. So yeah, and here I almost forgot, there is a little link to the video for Turn the Tables if you haven't already seen it on um, social media. But I realized last time I don't think the sound worked. Kathy, it didn't work last time when I played it. Yeah, that's okay. I don't think it. I'm going to skip it. It'll be linked in the PDF, but it's just
I,
this little
I
video.
think it does.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
it didn't for us, but when I watched it the first time, it did. Because it's
Oh,
got the come join us, thing.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think I'll let just for the sake of time, I'll leave the link there and I'll make sure it's in the PDF that I share with you. But it's sort of like a little photo slideshow that cover and just some information that covers what I just shared. So that's Friday. Are there any questions about Friday? Okay, yeah. It only starts at 3, but there's still a lot that goes on. Okay, so going on to Saturday. We will open the Civic Center at 8 for additional like registration for those getting there on Saturday morning. There will be morning hospitality and some coffee and breakfast stuff in the convention center as well. And then we go straight into our big day of showcases. And like this first part's pretty simple. You have showcase 1, and then resource room time, and then we have lunch, and then you have showcase 2, more resource room time, and then showcase 3, and then more resource room time. And that's so that way, like after you see an amazing 12 minutes and you want more, you get a chance to go into that exhibit hall, go right up to the artist or their agent and start asking questions and learning more about their show and what it would take to get them on tour to your community. So during this time, please do make sure to visit those booths during those resource room hours. We're going to play with the setup of the space a little bit, but that's like the best time to connect with the artists, and they are definitely eager to meet you and talk to you as well. Last year we had things set up with the presenter booth sort of stayed in that dining area, but it sort of like became the hangout place for the presenters during the resource room time, and that wasn't the intention. The intention is for the presenters to visit the booths and make sure to get around to everyone. So do make sure to try to meet the artists there, and I encourage you to try to meet all of them. Actually, just see if you can get to every booth. It's not a huge conference, so it's not actually difficult to get to every table and say hello. So do try to meet everyone during those exhibit hall sessions. And yeah, and if you have any questions about that, let me know. That lunch that's right there at 12:30, that is also catered. So you do need to purchase that in advance if you would like to get lunch in the Civic Center with us. And yeah, so at the end of the last resource room event, that's when we strike the whole room, and we are basically getting ready to move out of the Civic Center for good for that day. And so if presenters still have their brochures and their booth stuff set up, they'll need to remove it then. And then we will have dinner at 6:45, and we'll have some closing comments from our board, and we will finish off the silent auction. And then at 7:45, this is when we've saved a little bit of time for presenters to have like a final get together with other people from their own town or their own organization to finish completing this artist interest form. And that helps me deal with the next day at the block booking meeting. So it's actually important that that gets done on Saturday night. And I will share that form with you now. Here is a sample of it from last year. So there's the artist name, and I'll have this printed for you if you prefer paper. That's totally fine. Artist name, the preferred dates that they have indicated, which may not be completely up to date by the time we have the conference. So it's always good to talk to them and ask them directly. And then you can indicate your interest here. And then there's also the online version of it if that works better for you. So here's the artist name. You can indicate your interest, your preferred dates. And I basically take this information on Saturday night. I make sure it's all in that the electronic version of the form, actually. And I put it into this spreadsheet that we all look at together on Sunday. And you all know how much I love my spreadsheets. So do keep in mind that I'll need that information at the end of Saturday. And I will hurry up and gather it all together before we all go to the jam session. And if I'm late to the jam session, it's because I'm busy doing that. But regardless of what I'm doing, the jam session will start at 8:30. It'll be at the Celtic Cowboy pub and restaurant, which is just across the parking lot from the Mansfield. And if you haven't seen it before, this is where all of these artists that just showcase or have been doing the quick pitch or just got a booth to be part of the conference, everybody who is a performing artist can get together and they can jam together and do covers and do something spontaneous. And it's quite fun. This link up here in this big blue bubble is another link to a video of a clip of last year's jam session at the Celtic Cowboy. There was even I think it was an Irish band that came, the McDades, and they played, and they didn't do this in their 12-minute showcase, but one of the guys ended up throat singing. It was really wild. And it's you wouldn't have seen that happen unless you had gone to the jam session. So if you're around on Saturday night and you can definitely try to come to some of that. It's sort of like our informal fourth showcase where you can get your last impression of the artist and just hang out with them and have a good time. And so that's Saturday. Any questions about Saturday so far? Okay, great. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope, we got it. So going on to Sunday, in my other orientation, I told the artists that they can leave on Sunday whenever they want to, or Saturday night if they really need to, because most of the stuff that happens on Sunday is for presenters specifically. So if you can stay, please do. Especially for the block booking meeting. That's always, I think, a useful conversation to be part of. We'll have coffee again, because we'll definitely need it, at 8:15. And this will be at the Dark Horse Hall and Wine Snug. So for those of you staying at the Arvon, life is really simple for you starting on Saturday night, because we just do the jam session. And the jam session is going to make a ton of noise, so you probably won't sleeping, so you might as well come to the jam session, and then you can go to your hotel room and then come back downstairs to the Dark Horse Hall and Wine Snug, the Dark Horse Hall and Wine Snug, which is in the basement area of Hotel Arvon. And that's where we'll have our block booking meeting. And this is where we will review the interest that we gathered from that form that I had everyone fill out the night before. And we'll go through the list of artists, just basically in showcase order. We'll go through the artists and we'll look at the who's expressed interest and make sure that that is all correct. And I'll have, a few minutes for some discussion of, and if like people have certain dates that they already started talking about, we'll bring that up as well and document that. And if people have questions about fees, that's a good time for presenters to ask each other, like, okay, well, what number did you get for this many concerts? Was it the same for you, or did you ask for a different number of concerts in a tour? That's a good time for presenters to start having those collaborative conversations, or like the beginning of them, anyways. So we'll go through the showcase order. We'll go through the quick pitch artists or agents, and also have them on the interest form as well. And then usually there's a little bit of time where presenters can also like bring up anything else they want to share with their presenting community. So that would be the time for someone, say, I don't know, from, the Marin Illinois, Benji might say like, oh, you guys should know that this group toured and I think they'd be great in other Montana communities. They were wonderful to work with. I recommend you check them out. And that you can share something like that about any artist that you've presented or had an experience with, even if they were not showcasing or registered for the conference that year. This is a good time to share that information. And so we'll get through all that, and I'll take that information and I will create a block booking report. And it'll just be like a Word document or a PDF. And again, it'll just have for each artist the presenters who are interested in and like the level of interest. You may have seen it or remember it from last year. And that report goes to our whole MPAC membership. So definitely the people who were at the conference, but also those who couldn't make it. And you can use that to start your follow-up on planning for next season. And one thing that we tried last year that I think we're gonna keep on workshopping this year is that we tried having a presenter representative be like a point person or a coordinator for each artist or each tour. So like say, like again, like the McDades had a lot of interest. So one of the presenters was sort of the person that had like the full list and was tasked with like trying to coordinate communication with the other organizations so we could get the dates lined up, and try to have a more smooth process in getting these tours organized. I think there's still more work to do on it. It's definitely an in-process sort of thing. We don't have all the kinks worked out, but we're going to keep on trying to do that again. And if you have thoughts on that, like if you participated last year and you have thoughts on that, let me know. We'll try to make sure that people understand that person is designated to try to make this whole process more smooth and streamline the communications. It can be a little bit tricky because not every organization does the contracting at the same time. Some folks are ready really early. Some folks have to wait until later in the spring when everyone else is like trying to have it all wrapped up already. So there's some things to work out, but we're going to try to do that again, just to make communication easier and to ensure that the artists who have invested in coming to MPAC have a really good chance at a great tour in Montana and hopefully coming back. So that's the block booking meeting. And then, and in case it's not clear, it's closed just to presenters. So there won't be any artists in the room for that particular block booking meeting. So you can be very candid in your conversations. When that's over, we'll go into our annual member meeting, and hopefully we'll be voting on some nominees for the MPAC board. And then we'll also go into our joint closing session, which is another tradition that we have inherited from years past. And this is where the floor is pretty open for comments on the conference and suggestions for next year, or things that praise is always welcome. So if something is new that happened and you really liked it, then then let me know to make sure to do it again. But we'll take criticism as well, especially if it's something we can act on and deal with later. Let's see. I see a comment from Jim. Great idea. Just needed folks to update their plans more often. Oh yeah, I think that was about the having a block booking coordinator. Thank you. We'll keep on working on it. We'll get there. I don't know that we'll ever look like the Canadian conferences where they have like a dedicated tour coordinator that like is doing this for everyone. It's their paid job, but we'll see how organized we can get. All right, so after that closing session, that's the end of like the main conference stuff. We do have our Impact board meeting right after that. And that's mostly just for the board, but there is a period of open comment at the beginning if you'd really like to make a public comment. And that's the end of Sunday. And we try to finish so that way you have time to drive home and get back to work on Monday. And I think from the people here, I'm going to guess that Jill drives the farthest. Probably to Sydney. So any questions about Sunday or the block booking meeting, or even like this process that we're trying out with like having a point person for each artist? I'm happy to take questions. And then I think, I've got more stuff. Beyond the schedule, the main things to remember are Friday, go to everything in the Civic Center that you can go to. Bring your turn the tables items. Also bring your silent auction items if you are planning to do that. Saturday, the showcases and the resource room times are the most active. So just drink lots of coffee and be ready for that. Do attend the jam session, especially if you can and you have the energy for it. And then on Sunday, there's that block booking meeting, which is probably the most important thing that happens on Sunday for presenters. Also, after that, on Sunday, we do a badge raffle to recycle our badge holders. So if you're bringing things to donate, if you can bring like a small item for the raffle, that would be great. It's just a fun little thing. And like, I think Misty always brings honey from her farm, and other people bring like just little small things that are easy raffle items. And there's links again to the Turn the Tables video and the jam session video as well. And let's see, now that we're done with the schedule, there's a few other venue things and to bring up, I think. Oh, right. I forgot, I had the slide ready for you. I made it last week and I forgot about it, but this is actually, this is like an idea of like what people have when they have like a really organized block booking coordinator person that is like that centerpiece for like all of the tour or the artists that come to their conference or are in their province, basically. So I just wanted to share this with you because it sort of exemplifies like the main impetus for us doing this. And it's if you look at the total confirmed bookings and this other column that's current price based on confirmed, like the more confirmed bookings there are, the lower that base price goes. Because as you know, when you booking an artist for one show versus booking them for like 6 shows across a few different towns in Montana, that can really change what each community has to pay and the resources that they can sort of share by having the artist play in many different places on a tour. So that only happens if we really get organized and work together. But this is the goal that I have in mind when I'm thinking about the block booking coordinator role, I guess, for that, just assigning one person to each artist, so it's not as overwhelming, hopefully. Any questions about this? Because I don't think I've shared this with anyone before. All right.
Emily, do you mean that form is just for the block booker coordinator?
Oh, what I'm looking at right now?
Yeah. Who's that
no,
for?
this is like a screenshot of like a block booking coordinator's basically like worksheet. for a peer conference in Canada, and all on the blurred out left side, those are all the different artists. And so, and the next column is like how many dates they have on a tour, and then the corresponding price. It gets lower and lower as they add, people to that one tour, if they can get people to commit to a date that will work for it. So yeah, but they've been doing this way for a very long time. So they're pretty they have a sophisticated system that they've developed over many years. So yeah. All right, so going on to venue, here is a map of the building and the parking lot, so you can see where to plan to park. Most people will park on the left side, which is on this map, it's south, and you can get to the convention center, which is on the ground floor, so you don't need a ramp or stairs from that area. You can also get to the Mansfield Theater from that side door by Whittier Park. There are a few steps there. So if you need a ramp, you'll actually want to go around to the north side of the building and use the ramp that's by this unload zone. And then going between the Mansfield and the convention center on Saturday is pretty simple. Again, if you need that ramp, you'll want to plan to use that north side of the building. And there is this garage door on the back of the convention center on this map that was provided to us that will stay closed. So usually nothing terribly gigantic is coming into the convention center. You can just use those public doors next to the box office for getting in and out of the convention center. And then this is also on the conference dashboard. This sort of just shows you again, like what happens where. The theater just has the showcase performances, and like the convention center pretty much has everything else for Friday and Saturday. And here is a more zoomed out map that shows you where the Celtic Cowboy is in relation to the Mansfield. And we'll go to that Celtic Cowboy location again on Saturday night after dinner. And it is a pretty short walk away. All righty. So again, for those conference meals, it's a great networking opportunity. Food's great. It's a great way to meet other presenters as well as artists, and do make sure to purchase them in advance if you plan to do that. And then for resource room etiquette, most already sort of get a sense of this, but just to be clear, one of the big things is to just be sensitive when people are in conversation. If it looks like an artist and a presenter are talking together, you can tell by their lanyards usually, don't interrupt them if you can. Just wait until they finish and then approach whoever you wanted to speak to. And we've told the artists that they definitely should bring their materials, but they can plan to just provide one copy of their materials to each organization. So they'll just save that for the main contact person. So if you're bringing 10 people, they probably won't all get copies of, a CD or whatever their press kit is, to just warn them about that. And just be ready to ask some good questions. There's a link here to more resource room guidelines. It's geared towards artists more, especially those who have never been to a booking conference, but it doesn't hurt for presenters to take a look at those as well. All right, the attendee list. One has already gone out, and it is released after each registration deadline. And then eventually I will just post the final one on the conference dashboard. And I explained to the artists that for this conference, we don't really do a whole lot of pre-scheduled one-on-one meetings ahead of time. At the really big ones like Western Arts Alliance or APAP, there is a tradition of artists and agents and presenters contacting each other before the conference and planning, which exhibit hall session they're going to get together and sit down with each other. We don't really do that at MPAC, and I don't think we really need to, because there's not so many people in the conference that it's hard to meet everybody. It's not hard to meet everybody, especially if you're there for most of Friday and Saturday. And if you want to see more details on anything, you can go to the directory. I have a link to the presenter directory here, but I'll add the artist directory as well for you presenters who are looking for things that are more fleshed out. But I'm sure you'll learn a lot at the conference in those exhibit hall hours. All right. And the things that make us unique is that we are Montana focused. There are many other performing arts consortiums that I have been learning about lately, but they don't all get to have an annual showcase and conference. A lot of them do have, different kinds of convenings and networking events. But I think we're one of the few that actually gets to have a dedicated weekend with these performances and artists that come to do this. So this is pretty special. You can meet everyone, like I mentioned. It's geared towards people making connections with each other. And we do ask for feedback on that. Like, did you have enough time to meet all the artists and have good conversations? And we squeeze a lot into 48 hours. So yeah, it's very busy, but it's to be efficient. All right. Other tips for presenters. Know your tech capabilities for your venue. And I think that if you filled out your presenter profile as a member when you got your membership, that's a good starting point. And also, like, if during, or usually it's after the conference, if you're like getting further along and planning for next year and an artist has been asking you about a date or coming out and it's just not going to work out, just let them know right away. Be very clear. If no is the answer, just say it. Don't avoid returning their phone calls or their emails. Just stay in communication with them and be upfront, and that is very useful. And then do your best to stay up on your emails and your phone calls after the conference. I know, like, a lot of you guys are volunteers and you're very busy, and you volunteer for more than just your local arts organization. But do your best to respond to those as you can. Because the artists are usually trying to like navigate the opportunities that they're responding to as well. So they might be waiting on you before they say yes or no to somebody else. Okay, so I just saw a question in here. Will there be Zoom access to the block booking meeting if we can't stay Saturday night? Right now, I don't have a great way to do that. If I can get a hold of like an owl, a Zoom owl or something like that, because MPAC doesn't own one. I'll have to see if the Dark Horse has one. If we can, then I'm going to try to do it, but I can't guarantee it right now. But that's a good question, because I'm sure it would be useful to a lot of people. Yeah, okay, so that's basically what I've got for you, and we've got 9 minutes left before 2 o'clock. So what are your questions for me? Does anybody have a Zoom owl I can borrow? That's my question for you. All right, cool. Well, let me know if you think of a question later on. And otherwise, I will see you in about 4 or 5 weeks. It's coming up right around the corner. It's amazing. And yeah, if you have any questions again about those volunteer opportunities or serving on the MPAC board, we do definitely need some new board members. Please let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.